welcome to the Gambling Parlor here on Dead Money Sports. I'm your host, Jesse, and coming to you in the penultimate selection show. We've only got 3 more games left in the NFL season, 2 conference championship games, and the Super Bowl. So let's enjoy this last remaining bit of football as we've got 2 incredible games. Obviously, the first game, the AFC Championship game, has a little bit of a disappointing aspect to it with the starting quarterback Bo Nix being down for the rest of the season with that freak injury at the very end of that game against Buffalo. But as I said on the early line show, I took Denver plus the 5.5, and I also liked the over at 40.5. Now that line has been on the move since then. The spread is now Denver plus 4.5 consensus in most places, or 4 depending on where you're at, and the total has moved all the way up to 42.5. So if you got the over from the early line show, at least you're getting some closing line value as well as the spread with Denver. And again, I have Denver winning this game 26-21. So we'll see how that goes. But we also have some other bets for this game. So let's jump right into the other bets outside of our picks from the early line show. And the first one is first half tie in the Patriots-Broncos game at plus 800. Now, obviously, this is you don't want to bet your whole bankroll on this type of bet, but it's certainly a fun one. And with odds of 8-1, I really think there's a good opportunity that the first half of this game ends in a tie, maybe 10-10. Because I don't think both teams are going to come out, trying to, take deep shots. I think there's going to be a lot of handoffs, especially in the first half of this game. Because I think both coaches will want to look to mitigate the possible mistakes by their quarterbacks. And let's be honest, as well as Drake May has played at times, he's also been very turnover prone. I think he's had 4 or 5 fumbles in just the playoffs alone. So, and this pass rush for the Broncos is the best pass rush maybe in the NFL. Them in Houston, we saw what Houston was able to do. Now you've got Nick Bonito and the Broncos and their, high-powered defense, but their pass rush and their really good secondary going to put pressure on Drake May. So you don't want him making mistakes. And the same thing with Stidham. Patriots defense has been playing very well. Vrabel's got this team really on, firing on all cylinders, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So you don't want to put Jarrett Stidham in a situation where he could potentially cost you the game with a strip sack or a pressure fumble or trying to, make a play, off-platform play that leads to a turnover and gives the Patriots easy points. So I do think there's a real possibility that the first half of this game ends in a tie. And at 8-1, I really like those odds. It's something maybe I'll put a quarter of a unit on, and let's see. It's a fun bet to make, and we'll see how it goes. And again, I like the over 40.5. I do think the points will come in the second half of this game. And one of the props I like for the first game is Drake May under 225.5 passing yards. And that goes back to what I was saying, that I think we're going to see more handoffs, especially in the first half of this game, as both coaches will look to try to limit the mistakes that their quarterbacks can make, not put their team in bad situations. Punting is fine. Field position is going to be a thing, especially for the Patriots, because if they feel like they have an advantage with Stidham playing as opposed to Bo Nix, then they're going to look to want to pin Denver back in their own area and try to make them make mistakes and give their defense an opportunity to create havoc and cause turnovers, maybe score points on their own. I do think the Broncos are also going to run the ball with Dobbins is coming back, I believe. So we're going to see Dobbins and Harvey as a 1-2 punch, and the offensive line for the Broncos is really good. Patriots have been decent against the run, but I think this offensive line is one of the better offensive lines they're going to see. The Patriots' offensive line, particularly on the left side, has struggled with the pass rush. So again, we could see them handing the ball off, not wanting to put Drake May in bad positions with long developing plays that give the pass rush an opportunity to get to him and create turnovers. So again, under 225 yards. The second half, we could see the passing game change, but as long as the game stays close and they're not falling behind and have to change the game script to a pass-heavy game script, I think the Patriots are going to look to ride Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson and just try to, again, get out of here with a win. That's all they want. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as you win. So I think Drake May under 225 yards, and he's actually been pretty good. I think he's gone over this number 12 times in the regular season. Once against the Chargers, but then he only had 179 on 27 attempts, 16 completions against Houston. And again, this is a much better I don't say much better. This is probably the best defense they're going to face next to Houston. And we saw how good Houston's defense was, if not for the 5 turnovers or whatever it was by C.J. Stroud in the Texans offense, the Patriots may not even be playing in this game. So again, I think they're going to look to mitigate mistakes by Drake May in this offense, and they're going to run the ball. So I like Drake May under 225 passing yards. And then my other prop for this game is going to be Evan Ingram over 2.5 receptions. Now he hasn't gone crazy, but he's had between 3 and 4 targets, I believe, over the last 5 games. And what do we know about quarterbacks that are backups or guys that haven't had a lot of playing time? They're going to look to the tight end because it's usually over the middle of the field. Tight ends are usually quarterback friendly passing routes. The windows for the tight end are usually a lot easier to get. They're closer to the line of scrimmage, so it gives the quarterback more confidence to make that throw as opposed to a down the field throw, especially against this Patriots secondary with Gonzalez and the rest of their team, who's been playing at an outstanding level. What the hell? All right, something was wrong with the camera. But anyway, with the secondary of the Patriots and how good they are, you're not going to want to force the ball downfield to Courtland Sutton and their other wide receivers. Look to Evan Ingram and look to the running backs in the screen game, getting these offensive linemen out there and blocking, throwing underneath to the tight end. So I think Evan Ingram over 2.5 receptions is a good play in this game between the Patriots and the Broncos. And our second game, which we will be live streaming right here on YouTube, so be sure to sign up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff, so that when we're notified. I will be having videos for the Honors Show, as well as the Super Bowl, and we'll be doing stuff throughout the off season, maybe once a week, leading up to the draft and then preseason, and we'll have some other stuff going on. But be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help me grow this channel. You've been with me all season. Help me out. Help me grow this channel. But the second game, the one we'll be live streaming for sure, is the Los Angeles Rams heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Again, I had the Seahawks at -2.5. That line, the juice went up and went back down again. We got it at -110. It went all the way up to -120, -125, depending on where you're at. This line has come back down. So we're seeing two-way action on this game at the 2.5 level, and I understand why, but I do think Seattle's the better team here. I also liked the under 48. Now, this line has been moving drastically down. It's at 46.5. I said I liked the Seahawks to win 24-21. I still like that outcome. 46.5 would still put you to the under. But again, this line has moved significantly off the number we got on the early line show. So be cautious with that. But again, my prediction, 24-21 Seattle. So 2.5, minus the 2.5, and under. But we've got some props for this one as well. And the first one is first half under 23.5. I think, again, this is going to be one of those games where each team's going to try to feel each other out. They know each other. McVay, obviously, an offensive-minded head coach. McDonald, a defensive-minded head coach. So I think the first half of this game is going to be kind of them throwing the jab at each other. Not trying to make a mistake early in the game. Try to take advantage of what the defense will give you. And I don't think it's going to be easy for either team moving the ball in this game, as the Seahawks, they lost Charbonnet. They're down to just Walker. Rams defense, the secondary has been playing less than they were earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the Seahawks defense has just been lights out. Their pass rush is incredible. They don't really blitz a lot. They only bring 4, and yet they're one of the better teams at getting pressure on the quarterback. We know Matthew Stafford is not the most mobile quarterback, and he's been playing with an injured finger, which has really been affecting his game at times. So I really think this is going to be a slow-paced game, particularly to start. I don't see Rashid Shaheed taking the opening kickoff back for a touchdown again, which was a big help to getting the points in that in the game last week. So again, my prop for the first prop I like for the Rams and Seahawks is first half under 23.5. Next up, speaking of Rashid Shaheed, we got the win with Puka Nacua over 3.5 rushing yards last week. We're going to go back to the well this week, but it's not going to be Nacua. Rashid Shaheed over 4.5 rushing yards. Now, since he's been on the Seattle Seahawks, he's gotten at least one rushing attempt in 6 of the 9 regular season games that he's played. I think he got 1 so far in the playoffs. But with Charbonnet being out, now you've got Walker as your lead back, and the guys they're bringing in are either coming off the IR or coming off the practice squad. So how much are you really going to want to trust them in a conference championship game? Why not give your speed wide receiver a couple of opportunities with some running plays, some sprint out plays, something that's going to get this guy the ball, because what you want to do is get the ball in his hands as many times as possible, because he's dynamic with the ball in his hand. So I could certainly see Seattle turning to Rashid Shaheed and getting at least 2 rushing attempts in this game. So with it being just 4.5 yards, if he gets one big gain, which most of the time when he does, he gets 20 or 30 yards. I mean, the guy is incredible with the ball in his hands. Now, this one is a little bit juiced, at least where I'm at. It's minus 125. So you're paying a little bit of juice on this number, but I'm confident Rashid Shaheed's going to get at least 2 rushing attempts in this game since they lost Charbonnet. They're going to have to find another way to, get the running game going without their power back, their number 2, the other side of their dual-headed running game. So Shaheed should see at least 2 rushing attempts in this game. Now my final prop for the NFC Championship game is going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba under 89.5 receiving yards. Now, Sam Darnold has not been lighting up the passing game recently, and Rashid Shaheed has started to show up. So is Cooper Kupp, Barner. So I think those guys might take a little bit of the attention away from Jackson Smith and Jigba, as the Rams will certainly look to take him away because he is such a dynamic player. They're not going to want to get burned by the best receiver. They're going to make the other guys on the team have to step up. So although I think Smith may have maybe 65 to 70 receiving yards, I don't think Seattle's going to play a high-tempo passing game. I think they're going to look to use the clock, use up as much time as possible. They're going to run the ball with Walker, and again, I like Rashid Shaheed. And again, I think we're going to see some short passing. Barner may get a couple of extra targets in this game. Again, Rashid Shaheed should see the ball. Cooper Kupp made an appearance last week. He's been stepping up over the last few weeks in the passing game. Darnold's been looking his way as teams are looking to take away Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I think that's what the Rams are going to do here. He burned them in the games that they've played, the 2 games they played this year, but I don't think he's going to have that same kind of success, as the Rams will certainly look to take that away and make the Seahawks beat them another way. And again, this is a playoff game. All these prop numbers are usually inflated. So even with Smith having 70 yards, 75 yards, it's still a great game receiving. I just don't think he hits 90 plus. So my final prop for our conference championship Sunday is going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba under 89.5 receiving yards. Well, everyone, again, we've only got 2 games remaining, so let's enjoy this football while we can. I want to thank everybody for joining me all year. Again, we will have a show up during the live broadcast of the Honors Show. We'll be streaming for that. We'll also be streaming something for the Super Bowl. I haven't decided if we're going to do a live stream for the Super Bowl or not. Maybe, maybe not. Most people will be watching the game, so I don't know how popular a live stream during the Super Bowl will be, but we'll definitely have a pick show before the Super Bowl. But to everyone, I want to thank you again for watching. I hope you make a lot of money out there, and take care of yourselves.